This was the scene yesterday as Detroit's own Elizabeth Punsalan and Jerod Swallow accepted their medals for winning the senior dance competition. It was literally a triumphant moment and should have been the biggest story in the dance competition. But this was not an ordinary week. The tale actually begins back in 1990 when Gorsha Sur defected from Russia to the United States. Ironically, he moved to Detroit and teamed up with Renee Roca. Eventually, they won the national championship. But they had a problem. Unless Gorsha was an American citizen, they couldn't represent the United States at the Olympic Games. They pressed Congress to expedite the matter, but when that failed, they were left with no chance of competing in Lillehammer.
It was getting to be a little bit of a chaotic situation because we had spent so much time talking to the press and drafting letters, and it was just too much.
The defending champions were cast as martyrs, victims of a cruel system which took their dream away. But they knocked that story off the front page and replaced it with another of their own. In a freak accident Wednesday morning, Roca collided with another skater during a warm-up. She was rushed to the hospital, and doctors discovered a displaced fracture of the left arm. They set the bone and applied a cast. Meanwhile, the United States Figure Skating Association issued a statement saying the pair had withdrawn. But just an hour and a half later, with the cast clearly visible on her left arm, the pair was back on the ice. Why bother doing this?
I didn't have time to think whether should I, shouldn't I. It was just go, get there, get yourself there and just get out there. And I felt all right. And we went up for the competitive warm-up, and the referee said, if you don't feel right, you let me know. And I just went right over and I said, I'm fine.
The pain, though, was just too much for them to continue. Friday morning, the team did withdraw. Roca had surgery, and the stage was left to Punsalan and Swallow. Julie Moran and Dick Button had the call.
In first place after the original dance and in prime position to win this competition since the withdrawal of Roca and Sur, Elizabeth Punsalan and Jerod Swallow, and they are newlyweds, married September 4th. And they will have the support of the hometown crowd as they live and train in a suburb of Detroit. By virtue of the withdrawal of Roca and Sur in second after the original dance, Punsalan and Swallow only need to finish second in this free dance to win the national title.
Now what you note here is a definite attempt to make this a much more dancey routine. None of the stories that we saw with Torval and Dean. None of the theater dramas. Instead, no storyline, but a ballroom-style mambo.
One of the ironies here is that Renee Roca and Gorsha Sur worked with this couple and choreographed many of their routines before they paired up and applied for reinstatement.
What they're trying for here is something traditional, yet also wild and passionate. It represents the returning surge toward ballroom dancing that is required in the very structured world of ice dancing. why they chose different styles and different pieces of music is to demonstrate and emphasize the ability of the dancers. And they can do that best with different pieces of music, they feel.
Performance was good enough to win the national title and earn their first trip to the Olympic Games. Afterwards, they talked with Jimmy Roberts.
So how does February in Norway sound?
Sounds wonderful. We've been training and working hard towards this trip, and this time we're really ready to go, and we're packing our bags as we speak.
And to go as the national champions is also a great honor. We're not going as the second place team, we're going as the #1 team for the United States, and it's thrilling.
2 years ago, you came to this championship as defending national champions. You fell and you missed out on a berth to the Olympic team. Does that make this a sweeter experience?
Absolutely. A year and a half ago, Liz and I decided let's go for it one more time. The trials are in Detroit. It's a chance of a lifetime. And to put it all together and have a performance like we did this evening in front of your friends and family is definitely a dream come true.
Here are the final results of the dance. By virtue of their victory, Punsalan and Swallow are heading to the Olympic Games. Susie Wynn and Russ Witherby are the Olympic team alternates. And here are the rest of the top 8 finishers. Still to come, we'll have the ladies' final live, but when we come back, we'll have coverage